This is where I need to be. Dancehall. Culture is to be shared and enjoyed, but it also has to be respected. That's why we consider him to be the best.
Big up. Walshy Fire, Reggaeville.
Wha Gwaan Munchy.
Miss Munchy, what we tell him?
I hear me, Miss Munchy. Keep on it locked with Munchy.
Miss Munch, are you run the thing, so watch out now.
You know me, I say Munchy.
Yell up Munchy.
Wha Gwaan Munchy.
Reggaeville family, this is Rototom 2026, and we are having a great conversation for Wha Gwaan Munchy with, I want to say, one of the members of the headline act tonight, also selector, producer, MC, and now author of a book, Walshy Fire, Wha Gwaan Walshy.
Man, so blessed to be here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Munchy. Good to see you again.
Lovely to see you too.
Good to see Heavy Hammer here as well.
Big up.
Handling all the logistics and everything. Munchy, it's been a wild summer. Munchy, you got in trouble 2 weeks ago
Why? What happened?
with the stage thing.
Well, I wasn't even there, so.
But was it because you guys just report like all reggae stuff? So that's why, yeah, man, I got you. Yeah, man.
Just
Did
to
they
show
take it-
everything, and you know.
They took it down, right?
Yeah, they took it down while the festival was keeping still.
really?
Yeah. After the first night.
I wonder why they did that, though. I wonder why they thought that wouldn't get scrutiny.
Yeah.
It didn't look right, you know, and that's just the honest truth. It just didn't look right, you know, and to know that somebody went and built it, you know, and spent their time on building this thing, I don't think it didn't feel like it should be there, you know, and I'm glad that the internet spoke up, and I'm glad that they eventually took it down. Yeah, man.
But do you think that we can still draw something positive? That it sparked a discussion about certain things that we maybe would never have started a conversation about?
Absolutely. And first of all, I got to say a special big up to everybody that did vocalize their feelings, because even though the comment section can get really messy sometimes, you can always like take a percentage of that and you'll see that there's an authentic feeling that's being said. And I do think that the positive that comes from this should be culture is to be shared and enjoyed, but it also has to be respected.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so when you feel like there's a disrespect, slight or big or whatever, it does need to be corrected. So I think that is the positive, is that going forward, I think a lot of festivals that probably don't have people from the culture like that in the room will probably start adding people like that in the room. I think if they would have added a dancehall dancer, maybe she would have been like, I don't know, you know. So it does say maybe there weren't people in the room when these, because somebody had to sit on and draw it and map it and make the legs move and everything. So, you know, I can assume that was done by somebody that probably wasn't a dancer, and probably wasn't, you know, seeing it how the internet saw it. So I think that is the positives, that going forward, yeah, man, everybody will put much more respect on the craft and on the culture and thing. Yeah, man.
It also showed me that there's a very thin line between cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation, and that we always have to move cautious so that we can always, you know, have the respect for everyone in this community that we're in, you know, not to hurt anyone's feelings, not to, you know, and to understand what these people's backgrounds are and how they feel about certain things that we might feel differently about, you know?
Absolutely. And because we are talking about like the internet, you know, very much so, we're living in a time of such global presentation, and how we present is going to be just everything going forward, you know. Presentation is going to be everything, and you'll never be able to forget when somebody presents something wrong. And so you want to make sure you do your best to present properly. Yeah, man. For yourself, for the fans, for the internet, you know. Yeah, man. So.
But speaking about proper presentation, you took on a project that is about proper presentation of dancehall, because you, as I mentioned, put out a book last year, which is called Art of Dancehall, and it is about the flyers that are being made for dancehall events throughout the decades. How did this concept and idea come about?
Well, I gotta say a special big up to such a great team of people, like Muscle, Mark Professor, Muscle from Toronto, Mark Professor, Stranger from Poland who lives in Brazil, Liv in England, she lives in Morocco now, and Lee Major from Earth Ruler. This was a collective of flyer collectors who, after seeing each other's flyers, were like, yo, why shouldn't we just put this together? And thankfully I've been placed in a position where I can help facilitate that. So, it was a conversation for a long time. And so as soon as I hit Rosoli up, well, first of all, I have to say next big up to Shepard Ferry, who's a graffiti artist. He has Obey, legendary guy. I was backstage somewhere with him, and I told him the idea, and he said, Rosoli would like this. And I was like, yeah, right. He called Rosoli the next day, and literally the next day we were on an email and moving forward. So shout out to Shepard Ferry, and shout out to all the flyer magazines and books out there. There's tons on hip-hop and on punk rock and stuff like that. They're all so interesting. Yeah, man. So, but mine's is called The Art of Dancehall. Yeah, man. Flyers and posters from 1960 up until 1999.
We will talk about the book in just a few from now, but of course we want to highlight also the whole festival, because we have footage from all the festival, from the main stage, the Lion stage, the dancehall, the Dub Academy. Check them out, just like, for example, last night when Alpha Blondy was playing.
Les professeurs sont fâchés, leurs conseils ne sont pas foués. Les étudiants sont fâchés, ils veulent plus de liberté, pas que l'on perd les boutiques, parce qu'ils ont été cognés. Les médecins sont fâchés, parce qu'ils sont mal payés. Les ouvriers sont fâchés, parce qu'ils ont été compressés. Le gouvernement est fâché, les caisses de l'État vidées.
Reggaeville family, this is still Wha Gwaan Munchy. We're here with Walshy Fire, and we mentioned Art of Dancehall, the book that he put out. One person I think that is crucial for the graphic works that are displayed in dancehall is Sassafras. We must mention him because he sort of, with his lettering and his whole artwork, I think he made like his own stamp to dancehall. How I think he was supposed to even play a bigger role than just being in it with the flyers. What was he supposed to do?
He was supposed to do the cover art for the book.
What happened then?
And then he passed away. So the person who was taking care of him, we went back and forth for like almost 2 years. Almost 2 years. This book was not overnight, just so everybody knows. This book was about, a 2-year process. And some days he was good, some days he was not. And every day that she was like he was good, he just didn't do it. And then when she was like, is he good today? She's like, no, he's not good today. So he was sick for a long time. But he was still drawing. It's just that he wasn't doing anything in any order. I think he was having some mental situation and he would just draw. And so when she would say, yeah, man, he's drawing. Okay, let me try and sit these things in front of him to ask him to draw it. and then he just wouldn't do it, because I think there were quite a few people that were offering him money like myself to draw, and him just wouldn't do it. The last person I saw get drawn something was, she went to his house and he did it, was Yumi, Selector Yumi. Yeah man, right? So big up Japan, man. Yo, they get it. Like, yo, Japan just gets it. And when I spoke to her, she was like, yo, I actually went and got it done because, you know, it was a little difficult. So I wish I had done that. But I was able to get a lot from his work, and he's heavily represented in the book, yeah.
What would you say in general, what significance do the flyers and the artwork for dancehall have in Jamaica for the people, especially in times when there was no internet and this was the way to communicate to people that something was going on?
Yeah, it's amazing when you think about Sassafras, for example. Sassafras was a dancehall guy. And so therefore, when you see his artwork, you begin to realize he was drawing what he was experiencing. So that's why we consider him to be the best, because it was a synergy between what he was really living and the work he was getting to do. So when him write Gemini, or him write Jaro, or him write Lee's Unlimited, he was so familiar with them and so familiar with the experience of going to see them and listen to the sound systems that they brought and to the places that they played. He was so, you know, ahead of the game with that. And so I gotta say, every single artist in this book, I think, were the same, because I can extract a sense of experience from what they do. So like when you look at the Biltmore flyers, 94, you know, King Addies, Earth Ruler, Soul Supreme, LP, and you look at the flyers and you see that colors start to come in, but the way they designed it, you knew these were dancehall guys who were also giving you an experience through the job that they're getting a job. They have a job to do, but they care so much because they know that when they give this to you and you give this to a person to get them to come to your event, 1, 2, 3, every single one of you guys have to look at that flyer and say, yo, dancehall.
That's my place.
This is where I need to be. Dancehall. Yo, look at the colors. Green and orange. Dancehall. You know, and, you know, so salute to all the artists that throughout the years have done that work.
You said absorbing something from looking at the flyers. What did looking at those old-time flyers do to you personally? Big up Diplo and
my good friend.
Big up. Walshy Fire, Reggaeville. Hey, it's a big dog right here. The OG. I'm about to go play the songs though, okay?
Wicked. What did looking at those flyers evoke for you emotionally?
Memories. I lived it. I was there. Except for like the UK and some of these, you know, European and Japanese flyers. If it was in New York, and if it was in Jamaica, and if it was in Miami, if it was in DC, I was there. So, and some of the Toronto ones I was there too. So it was like my life in a book, like the things I enjoyed in life in a book, you know. And I realized how much I enjoyed dancehall when I look at these flyers, because I'm like, boy, I really loved every aspect of dancehall. I love the fashion, which is what I'm trying to do a book on. So if anybody out there could help me by providing any pictures of dancehall fashion from the 80s and 90s, I thank you so much. You know, I promise you, the gratitude would be endless. Some of you guys, I know you don't want your people to see your grandma. You know, your grandma's a church lady now, and in a skin out outfit, but no one will judge. Trust me, I really need help for this, because that's the hardest part, is getting people to contribute. Yeah, man. So.
All right. So I'm certainly looking forward. But speaking of what's going on in the dancehall, of course, there's also dancehall here at the Rototom Festival, and you can enjoy the vibes also on the Reggaeville channels. For example, from Charly Black tonight.
Yo, Rototom, sell me some food for me brain. Do you smoke ganja? You want to see every lighter, every lighter, every herbalist. Show me every lighter. Yo, Rototom, hands up, jump. That man push up the lighter when me see because when I take no coke. We ganja man no run coke and truck. Marijuana when me smuggle straight through the airport. Me no snatch them. Me go in a pay, me no promote me. You say yes, but me no mule food alone pass me. And you sing on me brain. Level. If you love ganja, say ganja. Ganja. Send my eyes and whistle. Cause them zip on the ends. And yes, me bring for me Rototom friends. I sweat your till you cheat me with your legs. But slavery must walk up the beds. My friend Gigi have the good influence. Herbs for your nerves, but you have confidence. Herbs that make you strong and coke make you dance. Everybody, hands up, jump. Every lighter. Every lighter. Whoa.
Walshy Fire is just about to hit the stage. Can you believe it? Thank you so much for taking this last minute interview with me, Walshy. I really appreciate it. We're looking forward to the other works coming from you and of course to this mad show tonight. Big up yourself. No?
Yeah, my respect, man. And again, big up to everybody out there and appreciate you and appreciate Reggaeville, appreciate all the fans that watch and appreciate all the supporters of reggae and dancehall. Yeah, my love.
Wha Gwaan Munchy.